I'm also very much hurt about what happened here yesterday. In fact, the day before yesterday, but I found it yesterday that there was this kind of an accident happened at 5 Avenue. So I went there and I spoke to the family. They told me the whole story. I don't think maybe I must also repeat what the Greenie have said. It's exactly what the family told me that happened. We are very sad about what happened. As community of Alexandra, we are heartbroken. We don't love what happened in our townships. Also in our country, what is happening in our country, we don't love what happened. You see.
No, absolutely. I suppose the question will be, in many instances, people who know of Alexandra will tell you that something like this was bound to happen. Like in many other communities around the country, the spaza shop industry, let's call it, operates largely unregulated. And because of that, it's difficult to keep a close eye on what people are selling and ultimately what people are being fed.
Yeah, that one is true. I will agree with you that kind of things, that shops that are operating without proper permit, it's happening here in Alexandra. And you were saying even the spaza itself, it's in a wrong place, in a pavement.
There are calls for, some of these shops to be taken over by people who at least are in the country legally. Is that something you would support as a ward councillor? Pushing through that kind of, let's call it, operation to ensure that at the very least, those who are selling some of these goods can be tracked and, if needed, held accountable?
Yes, I'm in agreement with that one, that we must track those people. But my concern is the manufacturer. They are the cause of this problem. If we can look deep into it. Or also the problem, it can be that these people are selling expired product to our people.
Alexandra has been in the news in the past before because of how quickly situations can escalate. And yesterday, in fact, there was a real fear that, things would turn possibly very violent. What are you doing as a ward councillor to prevent that from happening?
Yeah, we have tried to bring down the community, that they mustn't act beyond the law. Let us allow the law enforcers to make sure with everything goes smooth. Those products are going to be, because they wanted to break the shop immediately. So we tried a lot to bring them down, not to break the shop. Even now, when you see that shop is still there, the JMPD guy, Mr. Chaka, also speak to the community that it's proper that we give even the forensic to come and check the area, that area it's right, or what do they find there. So hence you see the shop is still there. But the community, to be honest, yes, it's cool out there. It's like the situation has gone down, but they are speaking. From social media groups, they are speaking that no. Those shops of Somalians, of people from outside, they must be closed down. And I also support the issue of the people of here in Alexandra take over in owning those shops. Also, let's check if those shops were built in a proper way. They are not going to cause problems, because these shops, people are renting from our Lokuza community member.
Absolutely. And in fact, that's been pointed out already by leaders at the provincial level, that in many instances, these are shops that are being lettered out by South Africans who've been in these communities for years and are essentially allowing something like this potentially to take place. But I just want to take you back to something you've just mentioned about there being some kind of coordination on social media for these shops to be closed down. Are you saying there is a very real possibility that residents, they may still take matters into their own hands?
You can't confirm Alexandrians. They can close them down. So I think law enforcement must be all over, because really it will happen. And me now, I will maybe suggest those outside shop owners, just leave Alexander. Close those shops, leave Alexander. And Alexandrians sit down and discuss. Or maybe the owner of the shops who are renting, making people to rent to them, they must take over and be the shop owners of those shops. Then maybe we can be happy.
Sure, sobering indeed. Deborah,
even now,
go ahead,
yesterday
please.
The communities, they've said they don't even like the issue of people selling these Zimba chips there in corners of the schools, all these things during school hours. They don't want all those things. So it's still going to be some business, because there was this thing of a meeting, that we must have a meeting as a community of Alexander. I hope that one was proposed. I'm thinking it was proposed by our chair of chairs, because to now, as I speak, yes, as we are saying, our MEC is coming here today, I'm going to a meeting now, 10 o'clock, just to brief the MEC how things went.
All right, we'll allow you to prepare for that meeting, but very sobering indeed, and hopefully some of law enforcement officials who have access to this kind of discussion are heeding some of your warnings. Deborah Francisco is a ward councillor at Ward 108 in Alexandra, a local community leader there, of course, watching very closely the situation as tempers flared yesterday over the death of a 10-year-old. Just to give an update, we're told that child's mother and her younger sibling are still in hospital. The last update we received is that they are in a critical condition. So hopefully the situation, insofar as that is concerned, doesn't worsen beyond what we've seen already.